Hey all, it is Heather from Book Wild. I am here today by myself to let you guys know what my TBR is for the Magical Readathon. This is a readathon from June 22nd to June 28th that Book Roast puts on. It's a interlude between the two larger readathons that take place in April and August. I will include a link to a description of her explaining the larger realm of the Magical Readathon and all that entails down below, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Most of you probably already do. A couple of housekeeping things before I get into the TBR. Chantel is busy helping her brother move, so she was not able to film this with me, but her and I will actually be together for most of that week. We are taking a lady friend trip to a cabin up by Acadia National Park in Maine, and we're going to be spending the week reading and hiking and celebrating my birthday. So we will be doing a vlog during that time, and we'll probably end up reading a lot of the same books, which is why she's not going to be on this video. But I live downtown. Because of quarantine, there's not really anywhere that I can go to film other than my apartment. So if you hear cars going by, I do apologize for that. I know it's not ideal. This readathon is based on a map of Hogsmeade. I will put a picture of the map there. Each shop within the map is a different book prompt, and you can choose to visit as many shops as you wish. The only requirement for the readathon is that you read a book with a map, because that's how we're getting into Hogsmeade, is through the Marauders map. And again, Jean will do a better job of explaining that than I would, so I'm linking that down below. So for that prompt, I chose She Came to Slay by Erica Armstrong Dunbar, The Life and Times of Harriet Tubman. It's not a graphic novel, but it's got pictures. There is a map of the Underground Railroad in this book somewhere. I did find it. I know that there's a map. I can't find it now. You'll just have to believe me. But this is obviously about the life and times of Harriet Tubman. I heard about this book from both Bowties and Books in Murphy Napier, and I'm really excited to read this book. I think it'll be a really quick read, and this feels like a really good time to read this book. I will be skipping prompts that I am not reading from, just because why would I talk about them if I'm not doing them? So the next prompt that I'm going to be choosing is, or the next shop that I'm going to be visiting is the Hogshead. So this prompt is to read a book that has less than 10,000 ratings on Goodreads. And for this, I am choosing Patsy by Nicole Dennis Benn. This is a book that I heard about from Bowties and Books, and I picked it up to read during Pride Month. So this is perfect, like it fits in perfectly for this readathon. It's about a woman who lives in Jamaica, and she follows her oldest friend that she's in love with, a woman, to New York City, leaving behind a child as she follows, you know, her heart. And it's about the relationship between the self and motherhood, and her child, I believe, is non-binary, and so their exploration of their self still in Jamaica. And apparently it's a really emotional read. I mean, it sounds like a very emotional read, but I think it will be a good one. Jessie from Bowties and Books talks about this book a lot. I've seen it getting a lot more hype in the last few weeks for a lot of different reasons, but I'm very excited to read this book. I'm excited to read this book. The next shop that I will be visiting is Honeydukes, and the prompt for Honeydukes is to read a book with a green or pink cover. And for that, I'm reading Wilder Girls by Rory Power. It has some green, it's got a little bit of pink and those little rosebud lips. I don't know why I said that. It is a book I've heard many people talking about. It's gotten a lot of hype. It is about girls that live or attend a boarding school on an island off the coast of Maine, which, like, Maine, and they are basically stranded on this island. There's a tox that is running rampant throughout the girls, and their bodies start transforming into like horrible things. And I think one of the girls goes missing, and her best friend, who I believe is infatuated or has a crush on her, or they are in a relationship, I'm not entirely sure, goes and finds her and like uncovers secrets, other secrets of the island or the boarding school. So there is a queer relationship, I believe, in this. I mean, I love horror, I love thrillers, I love ladies, I love everything that this book seems to have to offer. So I have been like waiting for a reason to pick this book up, and I'm gonna read it. The next shop that I'm going to visit is the Shrieking Shack, and obviously this is to read a horror or a thriller. And for this prompt, I'm reading Bluebird Bluebird by Attica Locke. Oh, I just realized they're the author of Pleasantville. I didn't see that before. This is about a Black Texas Ranger who is in the middle of a personal crisis. He is on the trail of two seemingly related murders, a Black lawyer from Chicago and a local white woman. And they've stirred up a hornet's nest of resentment in this small town. He has to solve their murders before the town's long simmering racial tensions erupt. So this, I thought, was a really fitting thriller choice for what's happening right now in the United States with the Black Lives Matter movement. It also has like, it says it's a rural noir, and I love like noir type vibes. So, and I've never read anything by Attica Locke. They wrote Pleasantville and Blackwater Rising and The Cutting Season. I have heard of The Cutting Season. So I'm excited to read this and hopefully read more by her. The next prompt that I'm choosing is The Owl Post, which is the latest book acquired. And this is Let's Go Swimming on Doomsday by Natalie C. Anderson. So this is about a 16-year-old boy named Abdi whose brother was kidnapped and forced to become a child soldier. 3 years later, it's his older brother standing as a trusted member of the terrorist organization that gets the rest of his family abducted by a CIA operative. The price of their release, Abdi must infiltrate al-Shabaab as a spy and gather information on the next planned attack. Counting on his brother's help, he plunges into the world of militants, only to find that Dahir, his older brother, has now become Khalid, a true believer, and Abdi revealing himself as a spy could have deadly consequences. To keep Dahir and the rest of his family alive, Abdi hatches a risky plan that will cost him much more than just his own life if he fails. This sounds intense. This sounds like a very intense read. I can't remember where I heard about this book. This book sounds horrible, but I think it's important. Not horrible as in like not a good book. Horrible as in everything that is happening in this story is horrible. But I think it's going to be an important and informative book, and I'm half excited, half dreading reading this because I know it's going to be an emotional ride. Then the last shop that I will be shopping at is Scriven Shafts. And so the prompt for this is to read a book by a person of color, and I am going to be reading Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm putting up a picture there. This is one of the books that has been on anti-racist book lists, and I know Chantel has this book as well, I believe, in paper format, and I have it on audiobook. It's a 3.5-hour audiobook. We actually might listen to it on our drive up to Acadia because it's about a 3-hour drive, and I'm excited to be reading it alongside Chantel because we are both very invested in becoming more informed and becoming better humans. I think this will be a very uncomfortable read for us and a very eye-opening read for us. We're here for it. So this is a pretty big stack to get through in 7 days. I'm setting my sights high. I totally acknowledge that. But the first half of the week, I will be in a cabin with my boyfriend. We will not have electricity. We're like, it's like glamping without electricity, if that can be a thing. And then the last half of the week, Chantel and I will be together in Acadia, and we will have electricity, but we will be reading a lot because we're going to be doing this together, and hiking and all of those things. So I think that I can finish all of them. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Because that's a lot of pages, y'all. That's a lot. I will be linking some anti-racist book lists, some resources for the Black Lives Matter movement, and some Black-owned bookstores down below. This is an important time in history, and Chantel and I want to make sure that we are open to learning and growing every day, not just today, not just the next few weeks. So if any of our viewers see that we're doing something that is overtly racist or a microaggression or anything that is inappropriate, please let us know. We want to have a conversation about these things. We want to continue to learn and grow and be better allies every day. So please do not hesitate to reach out and let us know and start that conversation. All right, that is my TBR for the mini magical readathon, June 22nd to the 28th. If any of you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments what you thought of them. I would love to have a conversation about them once I'm done reading them, and I will see you all next week. Bye.